Today I'm going to show you how I did this drawing here. Okay, so we've been talking about forms, overlapping forms. This kind of takes it to the next level because we are doing different kinds of overlapping here. Well, not different kinds, I guess, but just almost weaving these different forms. And we also really need the shading here to give us enough information to understand that this is going underneath this area here, okay? But then it's going on top of this one here, on top of this one here, okay? So we're going to start by just drawing one of these blocks here. Okay. So we're going to start out just by doing, again, a simple drawing of a cube, just like you've been doing. Okay, you can do this by either technique, okay, using parallel lines, or drawing two squares and then connecting the edges. Okay, now here, this is not a transparent cube, right? So I need these back lines as well. Okay. If you've done this with the two squares, you should already have these lines. All right. So now, the difference here is that I'm adding, so these are the lines here, okay, that I've just drawn. All right. So I have all the lines, okay, for the structure of this cube, but now I'm going to add these other parallel lines, right? So that, again, it's all about those parallel lines in order to create that that substance, okay, so that it's not just lines. So then I'm going to erase this line, right, because now I can't see through that part. Make that a little bit thicker. All right, again, parallel to this line. Okay, let's see. On the one that I did here, I left some of these lines to kind of be overlapping, but I think on this one I don't want to leave those lines, so I'm going to erase these lines. So it's almost like frames put together. All right, and erasing, again, those lines that I can't see through. All right. But I'm keeping this line because I can see through this area here. Okay, so I'm going to keep doing that for all. And always, you're drawing light until it's right. Okay, and then you can go in and add some darker lines here. Oh, I need to erase this line here. Okay, this is also if you want to just stop here and kind of have a really big window into a house. Okay, add a roof to it, some really big windows looking inside. Okay, you can transform this into that as well. All the things that, you know, I want to teach you how to draw certain things so that you can use those things to draw whatever it is that you want. So again, this is that idea of drawing three-dimensional forms, thinking about transparency, things that you can see through, things that you can't see through. All right, so again, I can't see through this part, so I need to erase that line. All right, but now all we need are these back lines too, right? All right, so we have that basic transparent block. The shading is also important. So we want to think about, you probably want to be able to see the back part of this one. You might be able to see, yeah, I think you could see this part here. So, and actually, I guess if I'm going to do it that way, I'll make this part too. Yeah, okay. All right, so now we want to pick our light source. Okay, you can pick any light source you want. I think I'm going to keep this. I think I'm going to have my light source, okay, going this direction. Okay, so this side here is going to be the very brightest. Okay, there's going to be a shadow behind this one because this part is blocking the inside of that part. So I'm going to add a shadow there. But there's going to be a decent amount of light back here. Okay, actually maybe I'll angle my light a little bit so that it's kind of going this way, because then I might get a little bit more, a few more interesting shadows that way as well. Okay, then this one is going to be medium dark on this side. So this is also a really good one to practice getting your values drawn. Okay, so a lot of you guys, I still see people just need a little bit more practice with getting, you know, medium tones. Maybe some of your drawings are really, really dark. Okay, you need to practice lightening your tones. Maybe some of your drawings are really, really light. Okay, you need to practice getting some of those darker tones. Okay, so getting those really, really dark areas. So maybe I'll make this part here really dark. Okay, and then these parts a little bit more of a medium value. Okay, but I do also want to distinguish, you know, sort of this value from this value. Up here it would be darker. Okay, because the light is coming from above a little bit, so there'd be a little bit of a shadow. Okay, using my finger also to blend. Okay, and then maybe if the light is coming kind of this direction, maybe it'll be a little bit lighter there, and just a very, very light value here. So maybe not even using my pencil here, and just kind of. Okay, and then going back in and getting maybe some of these highlights. So maybe be a little bit lighter here. There we go. All right, next, okay, to do, again, those like sort of overlapping blocks, we're going to do another cube. Okay, so we can start, we want to have this overlapping a decent amount here. So let's see, I'm going to have this part going over here and this part here. I'm not worrying too much right now about which side is going over or which side is going under, sorry. I'm just drawing that first square and making sure that one side of it is crossing this section, and one side of it is crossing another section. Okay. Then let's see. I think I'm going to have the direction. I can choose any direction, so I can go up. Okay. I think I'm going to have this cube go down though, in this direction. Oops, it's a little bit wonky. It's because I don't have parallel lines. Okay, so maybe I'll actually use that other way to draw a cube. And then connect. All right. So now, when I'm going through and adding those sides like I did for the first cube, okay, now I have to make a choice. Is this one going behind this or in front of this? I think I want this one to go in front. So I'm going to erase this line of that box. I think I want this one to be in front. But then this one I'm going to have behind. So I'm just going to make sure it looks like this one is in front there. All right, and we are on our way. So now I'm going to just continue with those parallel lines. Again, erasing things as I go. Okay, so this thing is the closest to me. So I'm going to erase this line behind there and these lines behind there. Okay. Keeping my lines parallel. We have our second cube. Now I want to try again to keep that same direction of the light. Okay, so I'm going to think about where would there be shadows. Okay, so here I think would be maybe my darkest area. I like to sometimes get my very, very darkest places, my very, very lightest places kind of marked out, so then I can find out where the medium values are going to go. Okay, this one might still have shadows, but not quite as dark. Actually, it might even be a little bit lighter over here. Okay, same for this part here. But then it might be a little bit darker here because maybe there's a shadow from this side. Making that a little bit darker. And actually probably darker up here. All right, and then this area as well is going to be really dark because if my light's coming this way, okay, it's almost like this is the bottom. So this would be really dark. And then let's see. I think there's a little bit of shadow on the side. Maybe I'll do that just with my finger. But behind here, right, there'd be a little shadow from this box maybe. Okay, and behind here maybe. Even just adding a little bit of contrast there as well. Okay, so the dark and the light will also help show that this is in front. Okay, and this is behind. So even just adding that little bit of shadow there, or even making this line a little bit thicker there. Will show that this is behind this one, and this is behind that one there. All right, and then you just continue on. You can keep adding more and more as you go. So again, just starting with that next square and adding another cube.